As I look back, I can see me lost and searching. Now I find that I can choose. I'm free. Oh yeah. So funny, I just have to laugh. All my trouble been torn in half. I've been lonely too long. Lonely too long. Lonely too long. In the past they've come and gone. I feel like I can't go on without love. Lonely too long. I've been lonely so long. To see me now makes it worth the time I've waited. She was all I need to make me see. Oh, I keep hoping with all my mind everything's gonna turn out right. I've been lonely too long. Lonely too long. Lonely so long. Now look at me, gliding through this world of beauty. Everything I do brings ecstasy. Oh yeah. No wonder I could die. I feel like I'm about 10 miles high. Been lonely too long. Lonely too long. Find myself somebody. Don't have to be alone no more. much older then, I'm younger than that now. Half-right prejudice, leap for, rip down all hate I scream. Lies that life is black and white, spoke from my skull I dream. Romantic flanks of musketeers, foundation deep somehow. Oh, but I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. In a soldier's stance I aim my hand at the mongrel dogs who teach, fearing night I'd become my enemy in the instant that I preach. Sisters fled by confusion boats, mutiny from stern to bow. Ah, but I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. So much older then, I'm younger than that now. My guard stood hard when abstract threats, too noble to neglect, deceived me into thinking I had something to protect. Good and bad, I define these terms, quite clear, no doubt, somehow. Ah, but I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. Sky keeps on turning. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. Smoking room, smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a small vacation as the ceiling flew away. When we called out for another drink, the waiter brought a tray. And so it was that later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned the wider shade of pale. To see, but I wandered through my playing cards, would not let her be one of 16 vessel virgins who were leaving for the coast. They might just as well have been closed. And so it was that later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned the wider shade of pale. Just ghostly turn a wider shade of pale. At first just ghostly turn a wider shade of pale. searching.
Let's see if we can get Dave Casler on here. We'll start the show in just a minute. I just see Dave pop in.
And when am I going to be?
When are you going to be?
Yeah.
Let's see. Hang on. Let's figure this out. We'll get our lineup going here, guys. We'll start the show in just a minute. In the meantime, this is for your entertainment here.
Come on and talk to me, lovely, lovely, lovely one. Come sit down on my knee. Tell you a story. It happened a long time ago. Little bitty pretty one, I've been watching you grow. Little bitty pretty one, come on and talk to me. Lovely, lovely, lovely one, come on, sit down on my knee.
in, I guess, right?
Well,
or that was the foxhole one.
that was the foxhole
Yeah.
one.
This Amateur Radio Roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America. All right, welcome everybody to Amateur Radio Roundtable. My name's Tom Medlin, W5KUB, and we've got the gang back with us tonight. Hey, if you're listening out there on WBCQ, send us an email to tom@w5kub.com. I'm not sure we're on WBCQ tonight. They've got some transmitter issues they were working on earlier. But we do transmit our audio on WBCQ every Tuesday night on 5130. Had a great net tonight, 40-meter net. We had a few new people check in it. We had about 30 check-ins, I guess. Bands were in pretty good conditions. In fact, the band was in pretty good condition last week. We had a ZS6 SBD call us from South Africa. And that was Andre down in South Africa. He checked in the net last week. And since then, he's been on a yacht sailing, and he's down in the Caribbean. He sent me a note today, and he's in the Caribbean today. So, you know, he's having a good time out there. I asked him to send us a picture, but I don't know. I don't think he has very good internet down in the Caribbean sailing right now. Join our Facebook group. We have a Facebook group called, actually, it's part of the show. It's called Amateur Radio Roundtable, or you can just search for W5KUB, and that will bring you up to a great ham radio Facebook group. We've got 9,100 hams in that group now, and it's growing pretty rapidly, and it's a great place to talk about ham radio and follow the show. Post your shack pictures in there. Katie or I will probably pull those pictures. We'll show them on the show one night. Katie's unable to be with us on video tonight. She said she would try to get in the chat room. I don't know if she's in there or not, but we'll say hello, Katie, if you're out there. So tonight we've got we got Dave Casler back with us. He's been hiding for the last couple of weeks, but we found him. And according to his contract, he has to do at least 3 shows per month with us. So we're going to be following him real close there. And we've got Joe K0 NEB with us tonight. We're going to talk about some kits and some other things he's doing. And we got world famous Glen Popiel. Popiel? Did I say that right, Glenn?
You have never been able to get that right.
Popiel.
No, you know the guy that sells all that stuff on late night TV?
No.
Popiel.
Popiel,
pocket fisherman, you know, the rotisserie, you know, all that.
All right. No, Glenn, there he is, folks. There he is.
There.
KW5 GP, Glen Popiel. I can't
there
do
you
it.
Go.
Anyway, hey guys, how you doing tonight, everybody? Hey Dave, let's pick you first, man. Dave, where you been hiding?
Oh, been started something new, trying to make a YouTube video every day during the pandemic.
Oh,
give
boy.
People something about ham radio to watch.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Yes.
Especially if you want it to look good, you know, I mean, and edit it and all that. That's what takes the time, the editing, man. And,
yes.
You know. Now, hey, you know what? Oh, Joe's an IT guy. Well, if we could just get Joe to invent some type of video editing where it would operate simultaneous, then we could edit this stuff real fast, you know.
Yeah, something automatic to take the bad parts out and make the good parts string together into a story. That'd be great.
Yeah, well,
then I'd have to make something that makes us all look better looking.
Yeah, and you know, hey, I'm going to invent something that makes your PC boot up in 1 second. I'm going to sell that as a little add-on, you know. and we'll make some money with that. See, we got a lot of entrepreneurs in this group. So hey, Dave, I tuned into your show the other night. I just kind of was looking around by accident, and somehow you popped up on there, and enjoyed it.
Good. Thank you. Well, I just try to answer viewer questions.
Uh-huh.
And I have more questions than I can answer.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let's jump over to Joe out in, where are you, Joe? You're out in, you're in Nebraska, man. Nebraska, man.
Yeah, Lincoln, Nebraska,
Yeah.
capital city.
So what's happening out there?
Well, other than it's cold, you have to realize that on Thursday it was so warm, it was like 78 degrees.
Yep.
I flew my drone and took some neighborhood pictures, took it up to about 400 feet. And now we're talking about snow. So that's life in Nebraska. It's in the 40s right now, and it'll be 24 degrees tomorrow morning. So, Tom, you're lucky you don't live here.
Hey,
So-
but let me tell you, it was warm here. And now I'm wearing a jacket. It got cold. But hey, back to your drone, man. I mean, you're lucky you don't live down here. If you flew that drone over somebody's house out here in the country, boy, a 12-gauge shotgun would be aiming at it, man.
Yeah,
People hunt
probably.
drones
Now
down
I-
here. Yeah, they hunt drones.
Yeah, this is a little DJI Spark. It's a kind of a mini drone, but it really does great. I took it up, and there was a wind up there, and the video is just rock solid. It just does great station keeping and photography. All right, so I'm going to try and share my screen.
Wait, not yet.
Ah.
We're going to say hi to Glenn. And
Oh,
then we're going to
forgot
come
about
back to you.
Glenn.
Everybody
I'm
forgets
sorry,
about
Glenn.
me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't forget about Glen Popiel.
There you go. He screwed it up again.
Man, I can't. It just don't come out. It's like I practice my Spanish a little bit. There's certain things I can't say in Spanish. Certain words I can't say Popiel.
Just think of peeling a banana or an onion, and you'll be fine.
Popiel.
Popiel.
Okay, Popiel.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll get it right this time. In about 5 minutes, he'll
All
go
right.
back the other way.
Yeah. All right.
anyway.
What have you been doing What are you up to, Glenn?
Oh, well, I've been, for all intents and purposes, on lockdown since, spring break for the schools. And they just announced today that they are going to keep the schools closed for the remainder of the school year. And that pretty much says that I'm not going to have a whole lot to do between now and the 1st of June. And
Well,
so I've been remodeling the house, finishing up every project that I have had on my list for years. And I had 1,000 pounds of flooring delivered just before the lockdown. And that the whole upstairs is going to get new flooring and all that fun stuff. But I've been busting my tail on the house projects, and a couple other things. We'll save that for a little bit so you can get on to Dave and see what's going on with him.
well, all right. Well, seems like we all have kind of home remodeling going right now. All right, well, look, let's jump into this thing. We got us a schedule all lined out. Let's just jump over to Joe first. Joe, you're going to talk about some kits and some other special things you're doing during this pandemic. So what's going on there?
Well, Tom, keeping busy. Now, if you look in the lower right corner of my picture, you'll see it looks like something going in and out. That is the bed of my 3D printer, and I keep that running several hours a day. And this is so that I can make face masks and other things for local firefighters and other first responders. This here, I'll show you, is just an ear guard. This is one of the simplest things I printed. I can do like 4 of these in about an hour. And what these do is they go behind your head, and you can use those to clip your elastic on your mask. And this is for people that, not like us who wears a mask just to go to the grocery store, but people who wear them day in and day out as first responders or nurses and so forth. And it's adjustable. Obviously, there's different places to connect to it. It's very flexible and very strong. And what that does is it takes the pressure off the back of their ear so they can connect their mask to that. So I make a few of those from time to time. I'm also trying some lighter duty face shields, which is this particular design. That's 4 of them. I can do 2 of those in about 2.5 hours.
Well, hey, show me that. How does that work? How's that face shield? Demonstrate
but the
that.
firefighters here want the better one. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, you can see that printer thing in the lower right of my picture going in and out. It is running right now. But let's do the screen share and see if this lets me do that. And now, okay, do you see? Okay, so do you see my screen?
I do.
Okay, so that means I have to do this, and this is what it looks like when I'm printing the ear guards. And it's kind of slow because, like I said, this is kind of a beginner's 3D printer. And the mat is magnetic and flexible, so I can lift the mat off and then bend it back and just peel off the prints as they're done, clean up the mat and start again. This is what's called the Montana mask, and this takes about 6 hours or so, 6 or 7 hours to do the whole thing. So I don't make very many of these, but they're very strong, and the middle piece that looks like a window actually pops out. And what that's for is you can take a regular surgical type mask, not the molded ones, but the flat ones, and you can cut them, I think, into up to 6 squares and then wedge that in there and shove that in. And so you can get like 6 different mask uses out of one surgical mask by wearing this. And I've given a couple of these to some first responders who really liked the idea. Didn't have the foam padding for it, but they did. So that's kind of a neat little mask. That one, I don't have the web address for that one, but you can look up the Montana mask and you can download the 3D files if you have a 3D printer. This is the face shield. This is what I'm making the most of. And these are going to a local fire department. And they just love it every time I drop them by. They like this design because it has a foam cushion between you and the visor. And then the shield snaps in place on there. And the elastic is adjustable. And the foam shield, foam cushion is actually made using the stuff that you would stick underneath a window that doesn't seal well. It's used for sealing where you have window air conditioners or a window that doesn't close all the way to cut the draft and stuff. And so you get that material at a hardware store, and it's adhesive on one side. But in addition to the adhesive, I put crazy glue along the top part of that so that when I bend that in and put it in, I'm squeezing the adhesive against crazy glue also. So it sticks real tight, and they seem to like these. And to be honest, I was kind of taken aback when I got a text from the head of the firefighters union that said, you're a lifesaver. And I came back with a text. I said, no, you're the lifesavers. I'm just printing these. And so that's what I've been doing, and I'll do it until they tell me, well, we don't need any more because we have a regular supply. So for right now, this is kind of my main job, is making these. I can only make a couple or so a day because of how long it takes, because this is not a very fast printer. But they're really appreciative of every one I make, and I'm just glad I'm able to do something worthwhile. So, of course, living where I do, Sunday morning at 5 a.m., it's 41 degrees, as you can see by the thermometer on my back deck, and look at the hail. We were hit by a hailstorm. Fortunately, I was not in the area that got the big hail, the golf ball and 2-inch size hail. I got mostly this pea-size hail, but we sure got a lot of it all of a sudden. So spring is here, and the virus does not stop for severe weather. But this is what the view looks like pointing west from where I live. This was the drone shot. And the traffic counts are lower, but Nebraska is not a stay-at-home state. We're allowed to, they didn't say, certain businesses couldn't operate except for theaters and places where people congregate. So restaurants are still takeout only like every place else, but you don't have to justify why you're in the car, but they certainly don't want you congregating in parks and things like that. So that's what it looks like, and this is a view looking straight north from me. And as you see, spring has sprung. The trees are looking good with the white blossoms and the buds, and hopefully they'll get leaves before we get hailed on again. And that's me. I was only about 50, 60 feet up on landing approach, so I turned the camera down and took a selfie from the drone. So that was kind of fun. Let's start with the kits here. This one is put out by Marty, NN1C, along with K1XM and W1UE. And Marty sells this at nnc.org. And this is an SO2R controller. A lot of hams don't know what this is. And what it is this is a simplified device that allows you to control 2 separate radios from one headset and one logging program, primarily N1MM Plus. And this is used in contesting, so you can have 2 complete separate radios. So like if you're looking for a multiplier and it might be on another band, another antenna, you can have a whole nother radio there and just tap a button on your screen, and this will switch your headset and mic and everything to the other radio. You catch your multiplier and boom, you're back on your run frequency and not losing any time, so nobody grabs your frequency. So this is a tool that more or less the high-end contesters use. Let's take a look. If you notice at the top, there are 4 devices here. These are audio coupling transformers, and they are surface mount, but you don't need special tools to do this. And we'll show you the parts here in a minute. This is the parts. As you can see, there is an Arduino Nano, and of course you have to solder the pins to that. Lots of jacks. The 4 transistors are all the same. The 4 resistors are all the same. The 3 diodes are all the same, and all the little capacitors are all the same. So each part is not unique. In other words, like the 5 jacks are all the same. 4 transistors are all the same, so you can't get it wrong. The diodes are all the same value, and so it's very easy to assemble this. You don't have to look real carefully at each capacitor because they're all the same. And so building wise, you can complete this in about 45 minutes or so. I took longer, but that's because I had to take notes and take pictures. This is what it looks like when you solder these surface mount parts. And the way I did it was I took one of the pads and put a dab of solder on it. And then what I did was I simply put the soldering tip back on that pad, and then I took the part by hand. It was easy to hold it. It's big enough. Just keep your fingers on the opposite side of it, and you can line it up on both sides while it's still heated up. And then you take the soldering tip away and just hold your hand perfectly still. And when that cools, all the other pins are going to be all lined up. So all you do is then you put solder on each pin, like there and there, and they're all soldered in place. So although it's a surface mount part, it's not very difficult at all to do, Tom. And I know you've done some pretty tough surface mount parts. This is the Arduino Nano, and just as powerful as the big ones, just takes up a lot less space. And the firmware is the latest. They said that I can, of course, upgrade the firmware when they come out with it and so forth. And what I'm showing here is to solder the pins. What I usually do is I solder one pin and I make sure that it's real straight. And if it's not, all I have to do is heat that one pin and wiggle it so it's exactly straight, let it cool, and then I do the same to the other side. Now you've got the pins all exactly straight, and then I just go and solder all the pins left and right, and so it fits the socket just perfectly. And I do the same thing for the female end of the socket. This is what it looks like when it's completed, but not in the box. Now, there are a lot of points in the middle that you can connect to, and that's so that you can put in external LED status lights and things like that. As you can see, the resistors all line up nicely, the transistors, the capacitors, and so on. Everything is nice and neat, just a beautiful board layout. Very, very well done. And you can see how nice and straight and everything these audio coupling transformers came out that are surface mount. It's not that hard to do it this way, and even a beginning kit builder might not have too much trouble doing that. The diodes, of course, are the protection because of the coil field when it discharges. And I'll show the finished kit when we're done here. Now, this next kit we're looking at is called the MicroBitX or UBitX version 6. Now, the difference between this, and you remember the first one I made, and I think you made one, it worked well and everything, but I had a friend 3D print the case for me. And so that was kind of complicated. In the old one, you had to solder all the leads to the pots and so forth, and then to the board, and it was just kind of a hassle. The new one, as you can see, has wires that are already connected to connectors and already done for you. So it's wonderful. Plus there's an extra set of connectors down here, and that's so in case you want to put it in your own box instead of using theirs. But as you can see up above, they have a pre-made box. The only thing it does not have on it is it's not marked. So I used a Brother P-Touch label maker, clear tape with white print to mark that. It has a very nice size speaker, and we'll show you that next. If you look, that goes into the top. They give you a very, very nice speaker for a kit, and it puts out a lot of sound. So I think it's just an LM386 putting it out, but a very efficient little speaker and plenty loud. This is what it looks like with the all the boards and everything in the box. This black cable here actually goes to the Arduino's input, and it goes to the back. And the reason they do it that way is so that you can take a USB cable and you can reprogram that and update the firmware while it's in the box. So that's pretty sweet. As you can see, the finals there in the back. There's been some improvements in this since the first version, but it's still the simple MicroBitX. And the disadvantage of this kit, the first one I've really seen, is like the other one, it's susceptible to AM broadcast interference. And so if you have an antenna tuner between it and your antenna, that cuts it quite a bit. Tonight I have it hooked to my 160 meter antenna because my other antennas are hooked to the radio. And of course the 160 meter antenna brings lots of AM broadcast interference in. So I'm going to take a 4-states high-pass filter kit, and I'm going to put it in between that and the antenna, even when I'm on the tuner and everything else, just to make sure that the AM broadcast band doesn't get in there, because there are some birds and harmonics and different products that come from the local broadcast. So I think it's time for me to do this and this, and let's see if I can unshare.
There you go.
Okay, did I unshare it?
Yes, you did. All it's showing now is your password.
All it is, yeah, my password and my ugly face, Tom.
Yeah, man.
So anyways, this has been kind of an interesting experience. Let's show you what Marty's kit looks like. This is what it looks like. That's the front, and that's the back, and they just use those stereo audio cables, and then you'll cut them or whatever to whatever you need on the other end to connect to your mic and speaker jack and so forth, and your CW keying jacks of each radio, because you can plug your paddle into this and it'll key either radio depending on what the relay settings are in your contest program. But like I said, I'm not going to get real heavy into how SO2R really works and why they do it and the nuances of it. But this kit makes doing that a lot less expensive and puts it in the price range for newer contesters. This is the Crick key. I showed that a few weeks ago. This is from the 4-state QRP group. It was supposed to be debuting at OzarkCon a week or so ago in Branson. Of course, like everything else, it was canceled. These kits are available for $25, I think, plus shipping at 4sqrp.com. And it is a keyer with a paddle, and really fun to make, all made from PC board material. And finally, this is the MicroBitX, and I don't know if that's going to show up or not, but you can hear all the noise. It's on the FT8 frequency right now. So we're all used to hearing that sound, but it does FT8 quite well, and it does single sideband and CW, and it has a keyer built in. And there's all sorts of Arduino upgrades. They call it the Raduino or whatever, but there's all sorts of upgrades out there at w0echobravo.com. And I know him quite well, and Jim's going to set me up with a few of these upgrades for it. But the radio is actually a touch screen, so it's an amazing little thing for about $200. Now, how long does it take to build it? It took me definitely under an hour to put it together, because you didn't need to solder anything. But once again, I spent a lot more time photographing the process and so forth. But I was fortunate in that when I made my order on a Friday afternoon, it was actually Saturday morning in India, and somehow later Saturday it got out, and the next day they shut down everything in India and all air transportation and so forth. But somehow it had gotten out, and surprisingly it was shipped on Saturday from India, and I got it on Tuesday. So that was pretty amazing. And I've still got some calibration and other things to do with it, but I think it was around 200 or 210, including the express shipping through DHL, which actually is very well worth it, because the difference is only $10 more to get it sent by DHL. I know that it's probably or possibly not available right now because of the shutdown and everything. And he is working on a controller for a low-cost ventilator for use in India. And so he's getting local people to help stuff boards and so forth. So that's what's keeping him busy now. And now you know what was keeping me busy, Tom.
All right.
This is K0NEB.
All right. Well, Joe, thank you so much for showing us all that, and great work on the things you're doing for the first responders there, man. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Everybody stand by. We'll be back one second. Get out and be active with ICOM's new IC705 and its optional multifunction backpack. The IC705 is your perfect QRP companion that has base station features and functionality at the tip of your fingers. It's a portable package covering HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. This compact rig weighs in at just over 2 pounds. It has RF direct sampling for most of the HF band and IF sampling for frequencies above 25 megahertz. It also has a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen with a live band scope and waterfall. Other features include 5 watts with the BP272, 10 watts with 13.8 volts DC. It also has sideband CW AM FM as well as full D-Star functionality. It has a micro USB connector and Bluetooth capability, integrated GPS with antenna and a GPS logger. It has a micro SD card slot. The speaker microphone comes standard, and it supports QRP operations. The perfect accessory for the IC705 is the optional backpack, the LC192, with a special compartment for your IC705, and it has room for accessories for soda, activations, or just a day in a park. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. From QRP to QRO, fixed stations, portable and remote, an LDG tuner will match your radio to your antenna using our lightning-fast, proprietary tuning algorithms. LDG is a family-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing innovative, quality products to the amateur market. All LDG products carry a full 2-year warranty that is fully transferable. Support is only a phone call or email away. We're always here to help you. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
All right. Hey, guys, just one more thing I'd like to mention. Nuts and Bolts. Let's support Nuts and Bolts, guys. Great magazine. They're supporting us by running our ad in their magazine each week about our show. So it's a neat magazine, man. And they got a lot of great articles in there. This is about the invention of the transistor, man. That was that was in my lifetime. That was a great discovery there, man. Just think of what it did, man. Transistors and ICs and all that kind of good stuff. Check them out, Nuts and Bolts. You'll like it. Hey, let's jump over to Glen Popiel.
Oh my God, you got it right.
Let's go to Glen Popiel and see what Glen's got going, man. Hey.
Oh, I got a whole bunch of stuff. By the way, I love that Nuts and Bolts. That's a really good magazine.
Yeah, you know that magazine has been around about 50 years. Let me get let's see if I can bring you in here. Here we go. This magazine's been around a long time, and it's better now than it was back. I think back 40 years ago, it was mainly just parts and stuff, if I remember correctly.
Well, they've got a little bit of everything now. They've had a 2-part series on that Nextion touchscreen display that's used in that Microbit XV6 and how to use it. It's really, really cool looking, and I've got that on my stack of stuff to read. And Joe, before I forget this, something on when you're talking about building with the Nano and putting the header strips on it, one of the things I do is I will stick the header strips into a breadboard and then lay the Nano board on top of that, and that way everything goes in just about perfectly straight. So it's much easier to mount the Nano that way. Okay. And I use a breadboard that can be sacrificed if it gets too hot or anything.
Well, that sounds like a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm excited about this. I think you got an announcement to make, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. I got a whole bunch of stuff. We'll start with the good one.
Yeah.
Had something really interesting hit my inbox.
Uh-oh. Are you there?
He's bluffing.
Are you there? Well, I know what it is, but I'm not going to say. Wait, I got the wrong name down there. I got the wrong name. I should have had Glenn's name down there. There we go. And he's frozen. What do you think about that? We're not going to hear the good news from Glenn. Okay. Well, let's just see what we can do here. All right. He's coming back. He's coming back.
Am I back?
You're back. Okay. Now, was that fake? You were going to announce some great new news, and then you acted like you froze.
Yeah, that's it. I was real good at that. How did you like the way I managed
We
to freeze that?
we were in suspense.
Yeah, perfect timing. No, I had something really interesting come in the email today. I've been hinting about it and haven't said a whole lot about it until we had the formal thing nailed down, but this came in the mail today. This is the contract for Arduino 3.
Oh, I thought that was you were getting sued.
Yeah, well, probably that too. But you never want me at home locked down with nothing to do. That is a very dangerous time for me. But anyway, we have formally agreed to produce the third Arduino book. Delivery to ARRL is targeted for November. And so hopefully we'll have it sooner than that. And it's going to hopefully be out in time for Dayton next year.
So now you've written a series of books. How many books have you written now?
This will be number 4. I did 2 Arduino and the microwave networking books before.
All right.
So this will be number 4.
Looking forward to it.
And let me move on forward here. I'm going to try to share my screen now and see if I can do this. Okay. This is going to be fun. And do this.
There it is.
Hopefully you see the monster.
No, you've got the screen up where all of us are on it. You need to pick the picture or whatever you want to show. We're seeing your desktop. There you go.
There, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that Skype keeps changing stuff around. All right, so now we got the cat up there, right?
Yep.
Okay. This was really planned for Katie if she was going to be here tonight. This is shortly after Dayton 2 years ago. I had been given some goodies from Katie, including an HRO pen or 2, and I had bought some power pole connectors. And when I came home and unpacked, I could not find them. Took me days. And you start questioning yourself, did you actually put it in the suitcase to come home? And I actually found that this one had stuck them in behind the bifold closet door there, and that's her caught in the act doing the parts theft. And you hadn't seen these. I looked back through some of the stuff I've done, and you haven't seen these 2 monsters. They've been to a few shows since then. And that is the little one, full size. And for a brief time last summer, she was the #1 of all cats in the world at that particular show.
You must have a lot. Hey, you must have a lot of mice around your house.
Not anymore. We're also now into the problem the neighbors are losing small dogs.
Oh, man.
And that may be the reason why. You've heard me talk about Godzilla. This is Godzilla fully grown. And you can see just how big they get when they're full grown. And that thing loves to lay on my lap at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, let me tell you something. That cat there is bigger than the lions I see on Tarzan.
Yes. Oh, she's a monster. But moving forward and into some more of the electronic stuff, I think you've heard me talking about the Lixie, and I may have shown it. Mm-hmm. This is a Lixie kit that I got off of eBay, and it's actually a clock. And what the Lixie is, it's a LED-based version of the old Nixie vacuum tubes, except it runs on 5-volt LEDs, and you can see in the center of this strip, it's got those little RGB LEDs. And this comes as a kit, And there's the kit fully assembled. And what it is each digit is a plexiglass digit. So there's 10 digits stacked in a row behind it. And this is actually a clock, and it's powered by an Arduino Nano. And this is what it will actually look like. Of course, it does all colors and everything. But this is what it looks like in its Nixie imitation mode. So it tries to look like a Nixie tube. Mm-hmm. And those are all 3D printed, and the files to laser cut those, not 3D printed, they're laser etched, are available on Thingiverse and stuff like that. But all of these plexiglass digits are lit from the bottom. It's actually edge lit to give you that, and it looks really cool. This second piece, you kind of saw me show you this the other week, mounting my Kenwood 2-meter 440 rig in the car, and it has that remote front panel that you can connect with an extender cable to the rig itself, and I mounted that to a little 2x4, and then that gets mounted below the new car radio that I was putting in, and then I built or cut out a little template to go around it, and that's the finished dash mount in the Jeep.
That's cool.
So it looks like it belongs there. Mm-hmm. And this is the one I have in the other car. Did it with a Yaesu 8800 as well. And so it looks like it's part of it. And cars today, even though they're big, they're still kind of cramped in the foot area. So this gets the rig out of the way and doesn't take up space. And, it looks like it came with the car. So that's kind of cool. So that's what I've got there. Hopefully I've stopped sharing, right?
No, you haven't.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, now we should back. But that's what I've been up to. Of course, now Arduino 3 is going to be taking up over the lab time right now. Going to start cranking on that probably at the end of the week. And just like you all were talking about the weather, it's been the same thing here. I live, about 20 miles southwest of Tom. And this morning it was almost 48, 44 degrees or something. And too cold to paint, too cold to be outside. I'm trying to tune the cobweb because I had some pine tree limbs break a wire or two. And it's you can't work outside.
Well, yesterday with the chill factor, it was in the 30s.
Yes, and it's supposed to have frost tonight or tomorrow. So, still can't get outside, and I need to do some painting and stuff before I get finished and can start on the next book stuff. But anyway, that's what's been going on over in this place, and I'm very surprised the Demon hasn't come over to take over the room yet. This is her time of night.
All right. Well, thank you so much, man, for joining us tonight, and we want to have you back. Maybe just more often. I think you got some more spare time now, and you can get back with us more often.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm on lockdown for probably at least the next 3 weeks, and don't have a whole lot to do for the next 2 months.
All right. Hey, let me make just a couple announcements real quick, and then we're going to talk with Dave. And after Dave, we're going to talk about something exciting that's going to happen tomorrow, right here. Ham radio tomorrow. Exciting. Don't go away. It's going to be in about 10 or 15 minutes. But first, let me see. Is there anybody new in the chat room tonight? We're starting to pick up, a number of new people from time to time, and it'd be interesting to see if anybody is new to the show tonight. So if you are, let us know in the chat room. Also, if you're not a member of our Ham Radio Facebook group, please join it. We've got 9,100 hams in our Facebook group. It's just search for W5KUB, and you'll find it, and you'll be approved there. And just a quick announcement for anybody that hadn't heard it before, but we'll probably turn the phone lines on toward the end of the show tonight. We have phone lines in 65 countries with local numbers where people can call into the show. All right, so let's get over and let's just see what Dave's got going. Let me flip a couple buttons here. This is not looking good. Oh yeah, it's looking good. There he is. It's looking better now. I see you. Glenn had you covered up, man. He had.
Oh dear.
He had you covered up, man. Hey, okay, everybody. Let's talk to Dave, man. This is a world famous Ask Dave, Dave Casler, OG. What do you got going here, Dave?
Well, I've got my token Arduino right here. Everybody's talking about Arduinos, so I don't know how old this one is. It's a few years old, and I imagine it's way out of date. And I've got my little micro BITX here too.
That's cool.
Had to get one of those. Those are great radios. I've got my first version of the micro BITX that I built on a cornbread pan that my wife reluctantly gave me.
Yeah.
And it works, but it's a little hard to stack stuff on top of it. So.
Oh yeah.
Since the quarantine started, I decided that what can I do? What can I do? Well, I can try something. I'm making a video, trying to make a video every day, so my subscribers can have a little, something in their inbox about ham radio every day. The one I'm going to do today is about a survey of the 2 meter / 70 centimeter mobile market. And I've got a Anytone D578 UV mobile to review, and I've been playing with antennas. We've had some beautiful spring days, but then on Sunday we had a little snow on the ground. And it's only 35 degrees out here right now. So it's interesting how people are responding to the daily videos. I've been getting some very interesting comments from people about having something to look forward to. My channel has just taken off like a rocket, which I'm very grateful for. And it's been a lot of fun. So it's a lot of work to edit a video every day. So what I do is a video 5 days a week, and then on Thursday evenings, I do an additional live stream. And this is at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, and on my YouTube channel. And if you are a subscriber to my YouTube channel at Dave Casler, it's youtube.com/Dave Casler, DAVECASLER. We'll take you there. You'll get a notification of it, and I've got a form set up on my website at ke0og.net/ask-Dave, and people are using that very liberally. And I've got a stack, and I do mean a stack of questions here that to go through. And so I'm trying to go through those questions and also answer questions in real time from the viewers, just like you do. And to great success. It's just very enjoyable. It's one of my favorite times of the week to do these live streams. I also do my standard live stream, which is at 1900 UTC on Saturday, which is right now with daylight savings time is 1 o'clock Mountain Time, 2 o'clock Central Time. And the same kind of thing. We just answer questions, talk about things related to ham radio, forget about the quarantine for a little while, and I usually end with an admonition to know your neighbors and make sure that they're okay. There are a lot of us who are retired, who are set financially, and there's a lot of people out there who are having trouble. And if there's some way that we can help them, whether it be food or what, we'd like to be able to do that. So that's what I've been up to. Very, very busy. I am working on my reference station project. The reference station is to put together one for HF and one for VHF UHF. a reference station, which can be somebody's first station. The idea, a lot of people have come to me and said, well, what rig do I buy? I'm a new general. And I always used to say, well, it depends. You look around, see what you like. And now I say, get an ICOM 7300. It's the reference station transceiver. And I've got on my website at dcasler.com/reference the listing that I'm starting to make. So I can say, okay, the reference station is a 7300. So I'm going to demonstrate anything having to do with HF on the 7300. Now, if you've got your own radio, fine. But if you haven't made a choice, go ahead and get the 7300. It's a very nice radio. And I'm about to make a choice for a dual band UHF, VHF, FM only radio. And then the difficult choice for the reference station will be the digital radio that will be either DMR or D-Star or C4FM. 3 competing standards there. I have been leaning toward DMR because there's a lot of activity there, but I think the D-Star might be a better approach. Now, whatever radio I recommend, I will purchase, so I'll have it here to make videos. And it's my subscribers who make this possible. And a lot of people have responded very positively to this because, when you're brand new in radio, and what do? You ask your Elmer, and whatever your Elmer tells you to do, that's probably what you're going to end up doing, because that's what you got. Well, a lot of people these days don't have Elmers like we did when we were young, and we had people that, didn't mind us pestering them all the time. So I'm trying to say, okay, here's a standard. You don't have to buy it, but it's something to refer to. It's a reference design, and all of us are familiar with seeing reference designs. Like, for the Arduino, people will come up with shields and stuff like that we can put on them. We don't have to do it that way. We can do it differently, but at least there's a reference. So I picked the reference station antenna. Again, I'm thinking new general or somebody who went all the way to extra. The antenna is just the MFJ 2010, which is a off-center fed dipole that covers 40 and 20 very nicely. Also covers 10 and 6, but 40 and 20 are the important bands right now. It'd be nice to have something easy on 80 because there's a lot of openings on 80, but 40 and 20. And then that's an inexpensive way to get started. Nobody stays with their first antenna for more than, 3 months, a year, to go to a different antenna. But I didn't want to recommend something expensive. I wanted to recommend something simple. And I've got a couple alternatives. The 2010 is 66 feet long, but if you get the 17754, which is actually $10 less, it's a 40-20 dipole. It only covers the phone band on 40, assuming you tune it right, but it's only 42 feet long. And there's a DX Engineering, Alpha Delta DX EE antenna is only 40 feet long. We'll cover 20 plus the voice portion of the 40 meter band, or you can tune it down if you want to do FT8. I don't want to recommend for reference station some $700 vertical antenna. You're going to get the same performance out of a dipole that you are out of a vertical. So, I'm trying to say, okay, here's good stuff. I'm not going with the cheapest. I'm going with something nice that can last you a long time, maybe even last you for a decade, but you've got a reference. And I don't know of anybody else on YouTube that's doing that. So I've gotten really good response from doing that reference station. It'll grow with time. I don't have everything picked out. The power supply is the Samlex SEC 1235M, which will peak to 35 watts, so you can run your whole station with that. And even though I've got solar at home, I went ahead and bought that power supply, got it here, so I can show it on the air. And that's what I'm up to, just trying to stay busy. So, Tom, back to you.
Well, all right, Dave. Sound like you're really, really busy there doing all those things there. And we did find something to do, during the time that we're quarantined at home. So we got plenty to do. All right, hey guys, some exciting stuff I think coming up. At least I'm interested in it. Let me get my hat on here, and let me walk over to the control room. I'll be right back. I'm gonna walk over to the control room here.
I'm wondering if this has anything to do with balloons.
Yeah, I'm walking back over the control room, so I'm almost there. So yeah, we're back at our mission control room right now. All right, so hey guys, let me tell you, this show has a challenge to get a balloon around the world, and we'll probably launch more balloons in the last 2 months than most people have launched in 3 years. When one goes down, we're on the next one. Our last attempt, we made it to Spain. 2 days ago, we went down in Spain. I think it will be recovered. We know right where it went down, and I think as soon as this virus kind of gets a little better, we'll get some people out there to get it. This, by the way, is the same tracker that we recovered that went down in Mississippi just 2 weeks before that. So we've been very aggressive on our launches, and we've tried everything from very light trackers to heavier trackers to party balloons to SBS balloons. We've a mixture of all this stuff, and it's been a lot of fun. And we've done some experimenting too. I want to mention my friend Edward over in Romania. Edward has just launched a balloon 2 days ago. Let's show you where it is. And he's been helping me out, and I've been flying. This next flight we're going to fly tomorrow is using the little tracker he designed. So let me show you where he is. He launched this 3 days ago from Romania, and he is now somewhere over the Pacific. So he's heading toward the United States. So this is going to be an interesting flight. I think Edward will make it around the world, and he's using a single $4 36-inch party balloon, and he's using the small tracker he built. Now, he gave me his plans, and I had boards built, and I built this board, but I do it under a microscope. It is teeny weeny, let me tell you. But he's even made it smaller. And here's the new one he's flying compared to the old one that he designed. So the one on the left is his new one. It's half the size of the board on the right. And once you program it, you break the little tab off right there. That's what he's flying across the ocean. Again, it's Whisper. It's on 20 meters. This little thing, it's amazing how this little thing will transmit 5,000 miles and can be picked up just about everywhere. So that's going to wish him good luck. See if he can make it around the world with the little party balloon. Our first flight was just a little silver party balloon, and we made it all the way to Japan, and we hit a storm and went down in Japan. So one of the secret here is to try to fly higher than the storms. And the party balloons typically will get you 28,000, 30,000. But Edward is flying his party balloon at about 37,000 feet. That's because he's got a very, very light tracker on there, and he pre-stretched his balloon to hold a little bit more gas. So it's a fine thing to put enough gas in to get the altitude, but not enough gas to rupture the balloon. So it's a real science to it, and I would say he's an expert in that area. So we're going to be launching W5KUB-17 tomorrow morning at about 9:30, and that will be our eighth attempt to go around the world. And this is going to be using the SBS 13 balloon, the big balloon. Hopefully it's going to fly the spreadsheet that we filled out, that Bill Brown filled out. He calculated that with our payload weight in the SBS 13 and 8 grams of free lift, we're going to fly at 43,200 feet. And that's been pretty accurate. We've been within probably 100 feet of what Bill has told us. So 43,200 feet. After it stretches just a little bit, I think we will fly at 43,000. That's going to get us 14,000 feet higher than our other flights, and hopefully that's going to get us over the storms. The storms are the killers, and and again, guys, it's Mother Nature. Mother Nature can take you down. There are storms that are 60,000 feet high, but hopefully we'll go around some of those, and we're going to go over some of the smaller ones. And I want to thank the guys, everybody out there that donated for us to fly the SBS 13. It's a quite expensive balloon, and we had already flown 2 of those in the last, I think, 60 days, and had started flying the smaller party balloons. But with your help, we were able to purchase an SBS balloon for this flight tomorrow. We hope to launch about 9:30. The wind is going to be 1 to 2 miles an hour, which is good for this launch. This is a very tall balloon, and if you have any wind, it's a difficult balloon to launch, especially with a 34-foot antenna hanging from it. So our launch site, if you look at the little video over my shoulder, my right shoulder there, and we holding a pink balloon, that's a field that we launched from right there. That's a test balloon I just launched right there. So we've got a big field in case there is some wind. We don't want it tied up in the trees or power lines. And it's really cool. We can just about tell where it's going. Again, up this little video up here is Ventusky. It's on the web, and you can put in the altitude. You can put in the altitude and the latitude and longitude where the balloon is, and you will know exactly where it's going and how fast it's going. And you can look at the different altitude levels and tell exactly where that balloon's going to go. And over on the left side here, that's a prediction model. That was a prediction model of our balloon that was at Spain, and it's just like the NOAA prediction for hurricanes. They also give us the predictions for our balloons, and it pretty much follows that prediction. It's just that we came down before we got very far there. So anyway, so hey, it's going to be a good time tomorrow. Get that launched. If you go to w5kub.com, click on balloon at the top menu, it'll take you to the balloon tracking page where we made it real simple for you to track the balloons. We've got 3 buttons there. You can track it on Whisper, you can track it on APRS, and you can track it on HabHub. And you'll see it on the map, and you'll see right where it is. And for instance, like you'll see that right there. If HabHub gives you the prediction, so you'll see where the balloon is, and if you turn the prediction on, it'll tell you where the balloon is going to go. So that's what we got going tomorrow. We're really excited about getting another launch off tomorrow. People are amazed at how fast we're getting them off. I mean, the only reason there's been almost a week delay here is because we've had rain and storms. So we're prepared to launch until we get it around the world. And hey, if this one goes down, we got a backup and a backup to the backup ready. So we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna just keep going, guys, as long as we can. So that's kind of the information. You know, we're running a little bitty turn. Let me show you a couple pictures of how this thing is constructed. So that's the circuit board I built up. I printed the circuit boards and I built it up there. That's using the very, very, very small parts. Again, you can't even see the parts; they're so small. But that's the board we're using. What I did this time, I wanted to give the solar panels a little bit more strength. So I got a little piece of styrofoam. You see a little styrofoam up there, and And then I took a piece of piano wire, very strong piano wire. You can see the little U shape I bent in it. We'll stick it through the bottom of the board. That's where we'll tie our string to it that goes up to the balloon. And then the panels will glue down on top of that. So it'll look, it'll look something like that. And the tracker, instead of the tracker standing vertically, we've actually glued this or used adhesive, and that tracker is glued on the bottom side. And the little GPS antenna comes straight up through the styrofoam and points straight up. And then we just hang it by the string that goes up to the balloon, and it has a 17-foot piece of wire, very small wire, number 36 wire, that goes up to the balloon, and then we hang a 17-foot piece of number 36 wire below that, and that makes our 20-meter dipole, 17 feet on each side, or 34 feet total. So you can see how the little mount is working out there that I built. That's Kapton tape. That tape is a special tape that is very light and for cold weather, and it's great for satellite stuff. You can see all the solar panels to run this. There's 6 solar panels. The piano wire and the styrofoam, it weighs 3.15 grams. So we got 3.15 grams there. The tracker itself, when it's built, this little tracker, again, it can transmit 5,000, 8,000 miles. People pick it up all over the world. 2.3 grams. So, between the 2.3 grams and the between the 2.3 grams and what was the other one? 3.1. You got 5. You got about 6 grams right there of total payload that we'll be launching there. There's a picture of us filling an SBS balloon up with hydrogen, and we've got the scales down there. The balloon actually hooks to the scales, and we can measure down like to the 10th of a gram how much hydrogen we're putting in here, because we want to put just the right amount in to fly this thing. There's the balloon laid out flat. That's the SBS 13 that we'll be flying right there. Back to Edwards. Look there, a penny weighed 2.5, and his entire tracker weighs just a little over 3. That his tracker on the left weighs just a little over 3, and he does a much better job when he builds his. Look how straight and neat and everything it is. That's the antennas actually rolled up on a piece of cardboard on each side, and when he goes out to fly it, then of course he will unroll the wire off of that, and the balloon will take it up. So go to his website. You can look up Y03 ICT, and you can go to his website, and he has a link to his balloons here. Or you can just go to APRS. If you go to APRS, you can key in Y03 ICT -12, and I would say by, I don't know, he's doing 120 miles an hour, I think. Let's see, is that 120 or is that 100? That's 150 miles an hour. He's right now doing 150 miles an hour, so in 10 hours he'll be 1,500 miles across the ocean there. So he's going to be at the U.S. pretty soon if there's no storms or anything. So good luck to Edward out there, Y03 ICT. And you guys stay tuned for our launch tomorrow morning around 9:15, I'm guessing, probably be about that time. That's all I got to report tonight. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show tonight. Join our Facebook group. It's called W5KUB, and 9,100 hams in that group. Join all of Dave's stuff. Check him out on YouTube. Dave, it's Dave Casler, right?
Yeah, youtube.com/Dave Casler.
And that'll get you there. And let's just do ham radio while we're all locked down here, and have fun with ham radio. And, you know, right now I had a lot of fun with the balloons. I know at some point that will pass, but it's amazing to be able to launch a balloon and sit in your mission control right there in your chair and watch it. Every 10 minutes we get an update on our altitude and our speed. Is it going up or down? Has it changed direction? Where is it now? And it's a lot of fun to do that. All right, Glen Popiel and Joe Eisenberg and Dave, you guys got anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Well, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
On the balloons and stuff. You're seeming to do a lot of those launches right on the verge of bad weather and the spring thunderstorms and stuff. Wouldn't the season tend to be a little bit better by pushing that out into, the doldrums of June and July maybe?
Well, I'll answer that. I'm trying to bring your picture in here. There we go. Well, now I just talked with Bill Brown, the master of high altitude balloons. Bill is world known, and he has given us a clearance on tomorrow. I have made some mistakes, and you can't launch in a cloudy weather, because if this balloon gets any moisture on it, the balloon will come down, and we lost one because of that. But tomorrow it is clear, it's sunny, the wind is almost zero, and there's no storms quite a ways from here. Now, there may be a few storms. There's always storms out over the Atlantic, but the problem is they pop up and they go out, and even though they're out there now, by the time we get there, they may not be there. So anyway, it's just fun. We could actually, I think you have more storms in the summertime. You could probably have some more, intense storms probably. Actually, I think a very good time to launch, what I understand from a lot of the balloon people, was the last few months. Maybe we are starting to get in now to more difficult weather, but the last few months were probably some of the best months to launch. Now, we're not going this time for just a short time. We're going this launch, guys. We're going for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months in the air. We're not going for just one circle around the Earth. This very same balloon, flying a tracker that weighs twice this, has been up now for 240 days, and it's still flying. This balloon is capable of staying up with a little bit of luck, and if Mother Nature, likes you, this balloon can't stay up. I think there is a record of a floater balloon up there that's been up 735 days. I mean, that's 2 years. And I don't know, I'm probably wrong here, but maybe it made it around the Earth, 37 times. I don't know. So we're hoping to get one circumnavigation, around the Earth. But on top of that, we're hoping for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months to stay in the air. And that's what we're shooting for.
Tom, what time would you like me to start listening?
We're going to launch about 9:30. So if you want to listen then, people around the world pick it up. Joe has actually been able to receive our balloon even out over the Atlantic Ocean. He's been able to receive it there in Nebraska.
Okay, so 9:30 Central.
Yes, 9:30 Central.
Good.
I will do it.
All right. Well, okay,
Best
guys.
of luck to you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off here unless somebody has something else they want to say or talk about. Anything else going on?
Well, 73
Nope.
to everybody.
We'll say 73s from Nebraska, and enjoy the time home with the radios.
All right, and you know what? We're going to have to get Bill Brown back on here, WB8ELK, soon, and we're going to have Bill narrating our balloon and how well we're doing each week. I want to get Bill on here where he gives us a report every week, and tell us, what bumps we hit and what. Bill, I think Bill's turned into kind of like a weatherman. He has studied this stuff long enough that he can just about read the weather and everything. So we'll get Bill back on here.
Okay, see you then. Good luck with your lunch.
They're asking what frequency will the balloon be on. It's on the standard whisper frequency. You're not going to really hear it. I mean, unless you got whisper running. There's going to be 1,000 people on the same frequency on whisper all over the world. And what it does, it just shares that bandwidth, that little narrow bandwidth, with many, many, many people in it. So if you just turn a receiver there, you're just going to hear a bunch of tones and stuff, and you're not going to know who is who. So Whisper actually is a program that you can get with the free WSJT-X, and you can run that on your radio, and you can actually see the balloon.
What band are you on? 20?
This is going to be on. We're on 20 meters.
20 meters.
Yeah, it'd be 14,090,965, I think, somewhere in that area.
Whatever it is there.
Yeah.
Well, very good.
All right.
Good luck.
All right. Well, very good, guys. Good night. We'll see you later. Enjoyed it tonight.
73.
All right.
See y'all next week.
All right, guys. All right.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
All right. Anybody got any questions in the chat room? I can. I'm free now, and I can look at the chat room. I'll see Bill in here. Hey, I see Tony down there. Hey, Tony down under. Tony down under there, man. Oh, let's see. Hello to AC5CM. AC5CM. That is Chris. That's my son who moved to Texas. I won't say where. Some of you guys already know. Hello, Jim, W5, JCS. Good to see you again, man. Hope you're doing well out there. Okay, Mark, great. Very good, Mark. Let's see, Guy, Mac D77. Okay, B17. Yeah, I got you. You know, I was going to open it. I'll tell you what we'll do. Hey, guys, let's do this. Let's just do this. I'll turn the phones on just for a second. Let's just see if we get anybody on the phone. So here we go. I'm going to turn the phone lines on. Let me put the number up there. And we'll just open the phone lines for a minute. All I have to do is find the phone number. I've got way too many things here. Let's see. Phone lines. There we go. There are the phone lines. All right. So we open the phone lines. If somebody wants to call in, you can call 712-775-7270. And the code is 407051. Pound sign. All right, the phone lines are open at your request. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. We do have phone numbers in 65 countries. So, hey, if you're in, I don't know, if you're in Yemen, give us a call. We have a local number. As long as that boring music's playing, that means nobody is calling. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Bill Brown.
William Brown has called. What do you think about that? Hey, Bill.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Just wanted to wish you a good launch tomorrow.
Well, we need all the good wishes that we can get.
You look, the weather, surface weather looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Better than it was a couple of days ago when we had all those tornadoes tracking through.
Oh, yeah. You know, you've had two tornadoes, one north and one south of your house here lately, haven't you?
Yeah, just the other day, one went about 8 miles south of me.
Yeah. Hey, guys, we've got Bill Brown on here, WB8ELK, the master of high-altitude balloons. So if we get Bill's approval for lunch tomorrow, then I feel good about it.
Yeah, it looks good, and the weather will be good on Thursday as well, but then it goes downhill from there.
Yeah, I guess we just have to outrun it. Now, I hope some of that man, I'm looking, there are storms all over the oceans, man. They're out there.
See, as long as you get up through it all, like the last one, you launched, as the clouds overtook you, and then it got knocked out of the sky.
Yep.
So this time, as long as it's clear where you're at and you get up to altitude, then you're going to be safe across most of the storms.
Yeah.
The higher you go, the odds of getting hit by a thunderstorm go way down. There's not zero. They're probably about 5% chance.
Yeah. Stand by, Pat. Stand by, Pat. Okay. Yeah, if we can get some altitude now, Bill, I think we'll make 43,000 feet. How long will it take us to get to that altitude when we leave here tomorrow?
Oh, probably about an hour to hour and a half or so.
Oh, so we can be up at that altitude in a very short time.
Yeah, you go up about 200 feet a minute.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Hey, we've got another caller on the phone. That is Pat Williams. Is that right?
Well, I don't know why it said Pat, but I'm Teresa.
Well,
that is my mom.
Okay. Well, hey, how you doing, Pat? Teresa? Hey. I didn't know who you were.
We're doing pretty good.
I didn't know who you were. The phone does say Pat.
No, like I said, that is Mom's name, so
all right.
I don't know.
So you can't hide from us. At least I could find you. Well, hey, Teresa. So what's going on with you tonight, man? Did the storms tear down your tower at the station at the club?
Tore down the tower at the club.
Man, did y'all have like high winds?
I think we had like 65-mile-an-hour winds or something like that, so not that terribly hard. I think our tower was rated for more than that, but yeah, it came down. I was in the process of attaching or finding the photos to attach a few to the Facebook group to let everybody see just kind of what happened.
Okay. Hey, I got a question for Bill. Bill, you there?
Yes.
Are you at that church off the Boys Ranch Road right now?
Am I where now?
Somebody in the chat room said day before ELK, I guess you're showing up on APRS or something, at a church off the Boys Ranch Road.
That's a good point. That is about 1.5 miles down the road from me because it is a 6-digit grid square on Whisper.
Ah, okay. I got you.
I'm sending out Whisper on 20-meter Whisper under the call sign WB4ELK, which is Bev's call sign.
Right.
And it's going out and being received all over the place, thousands of miles away. And it goes to the Whisper net database, and then I have a Python program that grabs the data from the WhisperNet database, whoever received it, decodes it, and sends it out as a 6-digit grid square, which is accurate to within 3 by 5 miles. So the center of EM64OJ, which is my 6-digit grid square here, is 1.5 miles down near that church.
Right. Hey, that brings me to another point here. We know where the balloon is in Spain, pretty close, just like we did in Mississippi, and maybe you can get some of your Spanish hams to look for it here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I've put the word out, and we'll see if somebody can go out. But they're pretty much on lockdown as well due to the virus, so they may not be too many people able to go out and about. Because
I tell you, they are serious. They're serious over there. I know when Edward he posted on Messenger to me, he went out 3 days ago and launched his balloon in the street, and the police drove up, wanted to know what he was doing. Anyway, they kind of got interested in it, and he was able to kind of explain it, and they didn't even ask for his ID. But a lot of countries, man, the fine is like 5 years in prison if you're caught out. I actually heard some country was wanting to implement the death penalty if you're caught out. Have you heard that?
I hadn't heard that, but I know in Russia it's 7 years if you violate the curfew.
7 years, man.
I mean, even if you go out without a mask. I think that's what I read.
Wow.
So Teresa, are you still on?
Teresa?
Yep, sorry about that. I had the microphone muted.
Yeah.
So did you have tornadoes coming through when that happened?
The closest tornado was, I think, several miles to the north and west of us. It wasn't anywhere around here.
Yeah, but some of these storms that came through here were hurricane force winds. My windows were whistling and the house was shaking. It was so violent when the winds came through. So that it's probably may have been more than 60-mile-an-hour winds if you had a microburst picture.
Yeah, the shack, unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 hitting, we got shut down just before we managed to get my weather station up on the tower and get it up on the air so that we'd have real-time weather reports from the shack. But I think the airport, which is about, I want to say, 1.5 miles from the shack, I think the highest that they reported was about 65.
So, hey, Bill, Teresa is going to school to be a weather woman. I don't know what's the term, Teresa?
Meteorologist.
Meteorologist. That sounds like, I don't know.
We have a big program here at University of Alabama, Huntsville. We actually launch an ozone sounding balloon every month to study the ozone layer. And most of the students that launch those are meteorology students. We also have a program called the Vortex program where universities from across the country meet up in Huntsville. And when we have severe weather, they launch these balloons with UHF trackers on them. And we see 15 to 30 of those go up at once here, and we track them. And we've actually recovered a few. So you might get involved with things like that in your studies.
Yeah, I know that we have a weather, a storm chasing group that's a part of the club, and I know that we've done things in the past with Oklahoma University, and there were a bunch of other universities involved as well with that. But I don't know exactly who all, what other universities were involved. So it it definitely has a very good and well reputable reputation. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's fantastic. We certainly need more skilled meteorologists out there with the wild weather we've been having over the last few years.
Yeah, the teacher that I had in Weatherford said that the weather that we're going to be starting to see in the next 30 years is going to be unlike anything we've ever seen before, and it's going to be a very interesting time in meteorology.
Are you saying the ice age? Are you saying the ice age is coming back?
I don't know exactly what he was referring to with that. That was as far as he would go down that rabbit hole of explanation.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was saying that to try to get more of the kids that were in the class interested into maybe actually majoring in meteorology, but that was his lines anyway.
Well, there were a lot of ham radio operators in the field, and that's a great field to be in, and particularly if you get out and go out and you do the storm tracking with the radar units, and they have all kinds of sounding methods that they can get some real details of the cloud patterns and circulation.
Yeah, I was impressed. A couple of years ago, we had Dow 8 at the university, and they brought it out actually to the National Weather Service Houston Galveston office, and I got to go down and see it and learn more about that, and that was really interesting because Dow 8 can do a multi-phased scan as opposed to the single phase where you're only basically scanning one line at a time. This one covers four swipes at one time. So that was interesting to learn about the different and new radars that are coming out. And of course, when I went up last year, I think it was, to the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service in Norman, Oklahoma, they were talking about even more newer Doppler radars that they're trying to come up with, and some of them are pretty fancy.
And there's some propagation modes on 10 gigahertz. You can actually use thunderstorms and temperature inversions to increase your range. And if you can predict accurately when a tropospheric duct is going to happen, and you have all the tools to do that, I've actually communicated with UHF and VHF over 600-mile paths, just like a waveguide. When you get a good temperature inversion over a certain region, particularly the Midwest, I've actually sent fast scan video images, live television on 434 megahertz, all the way from Alabama to Wisconsin when that kind of setup happens. And there's a really neat tropospheric duct that happens over the Pacific Ocean in the summer, and you can talk on 2 meters from California to Hawaii, 2,500 miles.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of that happening.
But you have to be on the mountain. You have to be up on the volcano top, about 10 or 12,000 feet up on the big island, to hit the duct on the Hawaii end. And I had a friend, KH6HME. He had a beacon, a series of beacons up there, including a live television beacon on fast scan video. And it was received in Southern California at 2,500 miles on UHF wideband fast scan TV.
Well, I wonder why.
Yeah,
I wonder why no one else is calling in. Everybody was wanting the phone lines open, and you two are the only two brave people that called in. I don't know.
I have no answers for that part, Tom. I know that I had to get over being shy real quick a couple of weeks ago, though.
Wow, what happened?
Well, we've got a gentleman that he discovered the local repeater here in College Station on Echolink, and he's from Swindon, England, and he's been coming over for the last, I think this Friday will make it about a month now that he's been coming almost every day. And after the first week, he just kind of wanted to reach out to one of our local newspapers and just put a little blurb in the newspaper basically thanking the ham community of Bryan College Station for welcoming him, into our homes and keeping him company because he has immunocompromised system, and he's on a 12-week lockdown there in the UK.
Okay.
And he reached out, but he didn't get to the newspaper.
Oh.
He got to the local CBS station.
Oh.
So next thing I know, I'm being interviewed on TV about this.
Well, that's cool. That's cool, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, okay, I think we got somebody joined us. Worldwide Tech joined us. Who is Worldwide Tech?
Hey, Tom, Guy here, K4GTM. I was over in the chat there, and I heard you pleading for some call-in, so I thought I'd give you a call. I really enjoyed the show tonight.
Well, good, because it wasn't planned. It just all fell together in the last few minutes. But that's kind of how it happens,
Sometimes that's the best way, for sure.
Yeah. Well, now, hey, you said Guy, right?
It's Guy, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, and where are you, Guy?
I'm in Ackworth, Georgia, just a little bit north of Atlanta.
Okay.
If you've probably heard of Kennesaw, Marietta.
Yeah.
Just north of there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, man, I'm glad glad you called in here. It was getting kind of boring listening to Teresa there all this time, man.
Well, I heard Teresa mention College Station. Got a daughter that graduated last year from the Bush School of Government there at Texas A&M. So I've come to really like College Station.
Oh, okay. Hey.
All right, gig 'em, Eddie.
All right.
Gig 'em.
And hey, I know who you are now. You're the Guy Mac D77. You're the Air Force vet.
Yeah, that's right, Tom.
Oh, okay. All right. Sometimes it's kind of hard during the show to put pieces together when I get incomplete stuff here. But hey, okay, great, man. Well, hey, when did you serve? What years?
I served from 81 through 92. So when the first Gulf War ended, they coaxed a bunch of us to get out, and I was one of those after about 11 years, and have been sort of in the tech world ever since. But owe everything to that 11 years in the Air Force for sure.
Yeah, I was in 69 to 73. That was back last century, man. And they wasn't coaxing anybody to get out during that time. In fact, the draft was going pretty big then. We don't even have I wonder when they ended the draft. I don't know. You're probably younger than me going in 81. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess your age. I'm gonna guess you're around 60.
57. So you got pretty close.
Okay. All right. 57.
But
yeah.
I feel 27 on the inside.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little older than that, and I can tell you, you're starting to feel it here, man. But hey, yeah, when I went in, the draft was going pretty big. They were needing like a lot of people all the time, man. And hey, with this virus going around now, they've shut down all the recruiting. There's no new recruits going in, I think, for the most part, during this month or 2 months. And when it's time for people to get out, that's going to mean the military is going to have a whole lot of people, less for a while there.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw in fact, they were accelerating, some of the folks that were in basic training, they were accelerating their training by a couple of weeks, to get them, get them out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a lot of rippling effects for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
we've been on telework at NASA since March 13th. So, but I don't mind it. I get up in the morning and my commute is going through the kitchen to my dining room table. I open up my laptop and I log in, check my email, and we still have meetings. We use a couple different apps for that. So, and it works out pretty well, actually. We've been doing that almost a month now.
yeah, I think things are going to change a lot over this next year. I think I retired 6 years ago, but in my job, I let my people work at home a couple days a week. They can work at home.
Well, I'll tell you,
just as easily.
Not having to drive that nasty commute for 45 minutes into Huntsville and back down to the country where my farmhouse is. Just not having to do that drive every day, and everybody thinks they're a NASCAR driver when they're trying to commute. I mean, they're weaving in and out, and they're crashing into each other. There's always 2 or 3 wrecks.
Yeah.
My blood pressure has actually gone down by not having to do that commute.
I think that probably this year we're going to see a lot of things change. I think a lot more companies are going to start having people work from home.
I think you're right. The work that I do as a consultant for a technology company, that's the line of work we're in. We're now very heavily helping customers, from the DoD and the military and healthcare and private business and financial services. We're helping them very quickly put together a strategy for remote workers, at-home workers. So I've been working from home like the other fellow said there. But we have a lot of tools that enable us to do it, and I'm probably working more hours a day now than I was before.
Yeah.
And that's what my coworkers at NASA have been saying, that we're working harder at work because we're just sitting there. There's no interruption from people walking into our offices or lunch and just idle conversation with coworkers. We're just concentrated on answering emails and reviewing stuff. We're actually getting more done this way. And,
I would agree with that in the short term. I think it has a life cycle because, being a consultant, there's great value in being face to face, and we don't have that at the moment, so we're relying on Zoom and WebEx and other avenues which are sufficient. But at the end of the day, in the line of work I'm in, there's an element of social interaction that has to occur to form the relationship.
Well, you still get that to an extent because we can pop in a video on a little thumbnail so you can actually see the person who's presenting or somebody who's, And what is interesting is that I can actually, many of my coworkers tend to put up PowerPoint slides with 12-point fonts that you can't see on a projector. Now I can see it because it's right in front of me on the laptop. So in some respects, it's really a benefit. And
I would agree.
I think you're going to see a lot more conferences happening through these teleconferencing apps because I know there was a big show about a week or two where 100 people logged on and had a ham radio gathering, a technical symposium about ham radio. And there were 100 attendees, and it was well run, and it worked very well. So I think you'll see more and more that conferences can actually happen this way without all the travel costs.
Without the travel,
involved.
Well, back to the social element, you reminded me that we've even adapted that portion of it by creating these virtual happy hours. In fact, once a week with the team that I lead, team of engineers, we'll get together at about 4:45 in the afternoon, and everybody has the drink, their drink of choice, and it's just a social interaction via the WebEx conferencing, and kind of lightens the mood and keeps that aspect in the mix.
Well, you got to watch those because you don't have to drive home.
That's right.
So that's get interesting.
That might be a benefit, actually, because you don't have to drive home.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Tom, I've got to sign out. I've got to finish up some things and got a meeting in the morning. So.
Yeah, well, I was looking at. I got 3 different clocks here. Okay, yeah, I probably should get off here and get a good night's sleep so we can have a good launch early in the morning. I think my friend Ed's going to be here in the morning, knocking on the door bright and early. And
I'll be watching off the corner of my eye. I do have a meeting in the morning, but I'll be able to bounce back and forth to watch my receiver on Whisper. And because once you get above a couple thousand feet up, I'll start picking you up direct on Whisper. You're only 150 miles as the crow flies from me. So
I noticed the one we launched before, it was really loud here, and even.
It was, it went almost right over my house.
Yeah, even at many miles out, it was still loud. I could tell when it came on because it was so loud over everybody else. But, hey, I got one quick question for you. I was talking to Mustafa there at QRP Labs, and the software in the QRP Labs tracker, I think he told me that it had built in a default for this time slot, 4 and 8. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, the light APRS transmits at 4 and 8, but it just sends the call sign.
Oh, well,
it doesn't send a telemetry call.
Okay, well, I was talking to him about that, and I guess one of us got confused. I thought he was saying that. And to me, the time slots look crazy, 4 and 8. That they didn't look right to me.
Well, he sends 2 transmissions.
Yeah.
So it would be
I guess what I was asking,
grid and power.
What I was asking is, does he have firmware? Have they developed a firmware to load into that APRS Lite Whisper that will do the time slots? I mean, it's just a matter, I guess, of loading the right firmware, right?
Well, no, I have no idea if anybody's developed that. It is open source.
Yeah.
So you could write something to do that.
Well,
I haven't sat down to do it.
Yeah, I was just inquiring if it had been done, and if they did have it out there.
I did write a Python. I modified my Python program that takes Whisper and converts it to APRS.
Yeah.
Sends it to the APRS server to work with just that, but it just presents it as a 4-digit grid moving map display. So you only see it move after it's gone about 60 miles or so. And I did that for K6 STS on his flight he did from Ocala, Florida. That's Doug. You met him at the Orlando Hamcation. I ran a Python script to take the APRS Lite Whisper data and present a 4-digit grid on APRS, and that's the one that ended up in the Congo after 14 days. It went over Somalia even, so that was a really interesting flight.
Oh yeah. All right, well, Bill, I'll let you go. I'll let you go there. I'll say good night to you. Teresa, you still on?
All right, I'll check with you in the morning. I'll have my laptop next to my work laptop, and if you have any questions, you can message me.
Oh, I'll do that.
Or you can text me.
All right, thanks, Bill.
All right.
All right.
73 Tom.
Teresa,
good luck on the launch, Tom.
Bye all. Bye, Teresa. Bye.
Bye, Bill.
All right, yeah,
Bye
good. Teresa, good to hear from you again. Glad you called in, and take care down there.
You too, and good luck tomorrow with your launch, and say hi to Walter for me next time you talk to him.
Okay. There was a question, is the launch going to be live webcast? No, it's just too much going on. It'd probably be just two of us. With a long antenna and all that, it takes two people to kind of hold all that. So we won't do it. We'll try to get a video, and we'll try to post a video on our website of the launch. I'll say good night, 73 to everybody, and Guy, 73 to you. And,
yes, sir.
And
good
Teresa,
night, 73.
And we'll see you guys next week.
All right, 73 to all.
Take care, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Good night.